I'm Tristan Hugh-Jones from Rossmore Oysters.
My name is Rupert Hugh-Jones. I'm Tristan's younger brother, and our father came and established the oyster farm here back in 1969.
I was born here. Certainly have very happy memories of being able to play around in small boats, fish and play. Now taking it on more, as more of a business, it's exactly the same, but it's the rewards are that much more exciting.
We've been working with Rossmore Oysters for the past 30 years. I've been with the group the past 20 years. So it's been a very long collaboration, which has been very fruitful. You know, a lot of research groups don't have that privilege of having a really interesting oyster farm and fishery on their doorstep. So yeah, no, it's been very invaluable, really, that collaboration.
There's two types of oyster that grow here. One is the native European oyster. Native oysters have been traditionally growing here for thousands and thousands of years. There were Stone Age kitchen middens of oyster shells, native shells, dotted all the way around Cork Harbour. It is the one that's meant to be here, but was overfished massively, so the population has been in decline.
And these biogenic habitats are biodiversity hotspots. Oyster beds, oyster reefs, they are recognised that they are hotspots for other species, and they attract mobile species to feed on invertebrates or vertebrates that cohabit on those oyster beds. They're also very important spawning and reproducing grounds for other species, including important commercial species such as our edible crab, you have prawns, shrimp, and for also multiple fish species. They improve water quality by recycling the nutrients. They actually improve water clarity as well, which is really important for our flora species, including our seagrass meadows. They capture carbon, which is really going to be very, very important in our battle against climate change.
It's a slow-growing oyster. It takes 4 or 5 years to mature. With overfishing and disease problems of the native oyster, people started growing Pacific oysters, which have the advantage of growing very quickly, and you can get a marketable oyster in a year and a half.
I guess what's exciting here is that every oyster we sell, certainly with the flat oyster, is an oyster that we have bred. And it's exciting only from the fact that lots of people are now getting much more interested in native oyster restoration.
So the native oysters spawn naturally in the summertime. Here on the island, we have 21 ponds. They hold 1 million litres of water. So we fish the parent oysters from our stocks out in the North Channel. We bring them into the ponds. The water warms a couple of degrees more than the estuary and encourages, with algal blooms that happen in the ponds, encourage the parent oysters to spawn. And baby native oysters, they grow then until kind of the end of the summer. We gather it up and we take it out and we scatter it on marked oyster beds, and they're left untouched for 4 years. And they're left fallow for a couple of years before they're reseeded. So their biodiversity on the bed's is massive. In the late 80s, we got nearly entirely wiped out by a disease called bonamia that affected 99.5% or more of our native oysters. There was 0.5% survivors, and luckily with the pond breeding system, we were able to take those survivors and breed from them and have sort of bred resistance or tolerance into the stock that we have. So it's exciting.
I think from a research point of view, access to such a long-term data set of almost 50 years, really, that's half a century, is invaluable. The fact that the man-made interventions that were carried out and are continued to be carried out at Rossmore Oysters is really, really important. They were very proactive in trying to find solutions and ways to breed in resistance, resilience or tolerance in their stock, and we can see now that that has been incredibly successful. And I think that even speaking with other fisheries in Ireland, they're looking to Rossmore Oysters as, I suppose, the ideal or the paradigm in being able. There definitely needs to be some man-made intervention. You can't depend on natural recruitment, which a lot of the fisheries depend on, because you're breeding out any resilience, resistance or tolerance, and that's making their stocks more susceptible to Bonamia Ostrea. So really, you know, this collaboration with Rossmore Oysters has been vital for both the research community but also for the shellfish industry in Ireland, as well as in Europe and internationally.
The reason we do it is to sell them at the end, and we'll supply people, whoever would like our oysters, whether it be restoration projects or restaurants. Our idea is to grow as many surviving native oysters that are absolutely perfect to breed with and perfect and delicious to eat.
You can find out more from our website, rossmoreoysters.com, and through our social media accounts as well.